TV 1061, conceptualizing your ideas across the world and beyond. TV 1061, conceptualizing your ideas across the world and beyond. TV 1061, conceptualizing your ideas across the world and beyond. TV 1061, conceptualizing your ideas across the world and beyond.
Hello, welcome to One Nation with your host, Christian R. Norfleet. I'm so glad that you have tuned in with us this afternoon, 2 p.m. here on One Nation on the TV 1061 Atlanta Television Network. We are live streaming on Facebook as well as YouTube and on the Wisdom Inc. app. And speaking of that, I want to acknowledge my executive producer for this show. His name is Felix Washington. He is also the executive producer for Wisdom Inc. That's Wise Individual Structuring and Developing Youthful Minds. That's a 501c3 organization that he's created for the youth. If you want to be a blessing to Wisdom Inc., hit the donate button on the Wisdom Inc. page, or you can do Cash App. That's $WISDYMINC. That's $WISDYMINC, and send a donation, large or small, greatly be appreciated. Thank you so much. And once again, that's Wise Individual Structuring and Developing Youthful Minds. I also want to take this time to acknowledge Shante Barksdale, who does a fantastic and phenomenal job of promoting our brands here on TV 1061. She works in the social media aspect of the show where the show is promoted. Thank you so much, Shante Barksdale, for doing your due diligence and for your sacrifice for the show. Thank you so much. Also, we have our sponsors for today. Our sponsors for today is Stephanie T. Whitaker, Financial Planning, and I know I have it here somewhere. Give me a second here. She has a good that's called Good Success. Give me a second here. I just had it. There it is. Sorry about that, people. Her name is Stephanie T. Whitaker. Shout out to you, Stephanie T. Whitaker. She was on the show a couple weeks ago. She's the president and CEO of Good Success. She's bridging the gap. She does financial planning. Connecting people to resources, a number one priority for time and money freedom. Income protection, budgeting strategies, entrepreneurship classes, networking opportunities, sales management training, business building workshop. If you want to live a legacy, leave a legacy, why don't you give her a call at her office number, which is 678-833-1657 or 678-783-6380. That's on the left of me to my screen, on your screen. Thank you so much for your support. That's Live a Legacy, Leave a Legacy, Stephanie T. Whitaker. Good success, bridging the gap. My new sponsor for today is Katrina Spence. She has a phlebotomy and laboratory service where she veins to please. If you're looking for phlebotomy and laboratory services, here's what I need you to do. I need you to contact her at 404-734-2990. Her address is 1400 Veterans Memorial Highway, Southeast Suite 134, Mableton, Georgia, 30126. You can also email her at katrinasticks@yahoo.com. Of course, on Facebook and Instagram as well. Katrina Sticks, phlebotomy and laboratory services, where she veins to please. 1400 Veterans Memorial Highway, Southeast Suite 134, Mapleton, Georgia, 30126. Her number is 404-734-2990. Katrina Spencer for Katrina Sticks. Thank you so much. Also, shout out to my good friend Douglas Burke, certified gymnologist. His address is 491D Flat Shoals Avenue, Southeast Atlanta, Georgia, 30316. You will see his information later on in the program in a commercial where he sells jewelry. Burke's Jewelers at consultant.com, where you can contact him. Thank you so much, Mr. Douglas. Thank you all so much. And those are black businesses, by the way, that you can go and support. Also, I want to give a shout out to Elder Demetria Davis. She was on the show a couple weeks ago as well. Go and buy her book. Her book is called A Child Scorned, A Woman Reborn. A Child Scorned, A Woman Reborn. Go and support that, buy that book. And also, the second author I had here, her name was Charmaine Bradbury. Honey, Go Wash Your Face. Go buy that book. You can go buy both those books on Amazon.com. Thank y'all so much. Now, we've got a lot going on today in society. A lot is happening. So we're going to catch you up to speed. So the first thing I want to talk about is let's talk about this Black Lives Matter situation going on. I know I posted something on Facebook, and I'm going to support. There's going to be a boycott coming up, and I posted it on my page, and I'll go support that One Nation page where I have a list of different businesses that we need not to support. They're still supporting Trump. They're still sending financial aid to his reelection. That's Donald Trump's reelection. One of them is Wendy's, Tacos, Pizza Hut. Those are a few places that we like to eat at every day. I need y'all to stop going there. If you do not support this president and what he's doing, then you need to stop spending your money in places where it does not matter. See, it's not necessary, and these corporations, they are pointing out their Black Lives Matter. These corporations do not care about black lives, and I'm keeping it real with y'all 100. They care about your money. That's what they care about. They don't care about your life. Black lives do not matter to them, because if it mattered to them, they would have done something a long time ago, and that's what's wrong with us. We are waiting for somebody to help us when we got to help ourselves. We got to empower ourselves. We got to educate ourselves. We got to start reading, got to get educated, got to go back in history. And that's what we're going to talk about a little bit about this Willie Lynch. That's what I'm going to talk about today, these Willie Lynch letters. You got to study your history. You got to study American history. Why are we in this situation that we're in? How do we get here? And why is it still continuing on the way it's still continuing on to this day? We've been here for for over 400 years, and nothing has changed. It's systematic, y'all. Understand, it's systematic. It wasn't supposed to change. It wasn't planning on changing. It's just a different form. It took on a different form. You understand? So just because you see things, it appears as if we're free. Just because you got money does not make you free. I really believe we got rich slaves, because if you ain't signing your own check, then you're a slave to somebody. So who signs your checks? Whoever signed your check, that's your master. So you got to look at this, okay? This is systematic slavery here. Now, I want to talk about this because, now get this here, Donald Trump, President Trump is he's rescheduling his rally. He's going to go and have a rally, presidential rally, to get more votes. Now, understand this. Watch where he goes. Watch where he does his re-election rally at. So in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and he actually had it scheduled for June 19th, which is Juneteenth, where the slaves was freed. Now, this is very disrespectful. Then he schedules it to June 20th, quote, says, out of respect. Understand, he knows exactly what he's doing. He goes to the place, Tulsa. Now, understand the significance, and that's why I'm telling you, I need to study the history of this stuff. Tulsa was the site of one of the worst incidents of racial violence in the nation's history. The 1921 massacre. I need y'all to type that in and look it up. The 1921 massacre of hundreds of African Americans who were attacked by a white mob. They were looted and buried, where many black-owned businesses and homes in the Greenwood district of that area where the place was destroyed. It was a neighborhood that was known as Black Wall Street. Black Wall Street, black businesses, black prosperity, where things was going well for us. Anytime that things are going well for us black people, you best believe there's going to be a plan put in place to destroy that. I'm saying this. It's white capitalism. I'm not prejudiced. I'm not racist. I'm not a hateful person. I'm calling it like I see it. This is the history of our country, y'all. And until we address it, until we get true about what's going on out here, it's going to continue on. And I'm not going to feel guilty about talking about it. Don't make me feel guilty about something that is wrong. If it's wrong, then it's just wrong, white or black, brown, color. I don't care what you are. If it's wrong, it's just wrong. But that's the problem. People will try to make you feel guilty about telling the truth. You should never feel guilty about telling the truth. Everybody needs to know what's going on out here. So that's why you have to go to the beginning. You have to go to the history of what's going on out here. Why did Donald Trump choose that particular place to have his re-election rally? Because he's trying to incite a racial war. That's what they want. This is what they're asking for. This is what they're calling for, so they can implement martial law to control you. You got to wake up and understand what is going on out here. Do not be foolish. This is why I'm going to read to y'all today. I'm going to read to y'all today the Willie Lynch letters. Okay? Now understand, this is systematic slavery, systematic racism, capitalism. This is systematic. It's about the almighty dollar. Slavery is about control. Control of the mind, control of your money, control of your dollar, control. Okay? So I got this from the Final Call. I printed it from the Final Call. All right? The Willie Lynch letter, the making of a slave. Understand, the making of a slave. And he said these were proven methods. They said that was going to work up to 300 years. I think they have worked very well for them. It's worked very well for them. They have prospered very well off of us. Because here in this country, even though the appearance looks like we're prospering, only a select few black folks are prospering, but I call them rich slaves. That's in my opinion. Now here, this speech was said to have been delivered by Willie Lynch on the bank of the James River in the colony of Virginia in 1712. Now understand the significance of Jamestown. Jamestown is where the first slaves were settled, where they brought the first slaves off the boat, 1619. That's Jamestown, Virginia. Virginia is a very historic place. I need to do your research on that as well. That's why we're talking about this 400 years. 1619 to 2019 marks 400 years. And there's a biblical prophecy that marks that talks about that. And I'm not going to get in that today because, once again, you got to do your research. It's all in the history books. Not just the Bible, but the history. Now, Lynch was a British slave owner in the West Indies. He was invited to the colony of Virginia in 1712 to teach his methods to slave owners there. This is the beginning of the Willie Lynch letters. He says, "Greeting, gentlemen. I greet you here on the bank of the James River in the year of our Lord 1712. First, I shall thank you, the gentlemen of the colony of Virginia, for bringing me here. I'm here to help you solve some of your problems with your slaves. Your invitation reached me on my modest plantation in the West Indies, where I have experimented." Listen, like experimented. Like your specimen, like you're some type of cattle, like animals or horses, cows and all that. Experimented with some of the newest and still the oldest methods for control of slaves. Ancient Rome would envy us if my program is implemented. Understand, slavery's been around since the beginning of time, y'all. It says, as our boat sailed south on the James River, named for our illustrious king, whose version of the Bible we cherish, and they did that too, and speaking of that, they used the Bible to control us. They used religion to control us. Okay, understand, that's why we're divided now. But it's in here, we're going to get to that, how they divide and conquered us and use religion to do it. It's in there. It says, named for our illustrious king, whose version of the Bible we cherish. I saw enough to know that your problem is not unique. While Rome used cords of wood as crosses for standing human bodies along its highways in great numbers, it says you are here using the tree and the rope on occasions, okay? Listen to what he says. I caught the whiff of a dead slave hanging from a tree a couple miles back. Now catch what he says here. You are not only losing valuable stock by hangings, you are having uprisings where slaves are running away, your crops are sometimes left in the fields too long for maximum profit. You suffer occasional fires, your animals are killed. Gentlemen, you know what your problems are. I do not need to elaborate. I'm not here to enumerate your problems. I'm here to introduce you to a method of solving them. In my bag here, I have a foolproof method for controlling your black slaves. I guarantee every one of you that if installed correctly, listen to this, it will control the slaves for at least 300 years. My method is simple. Any method of your family or your overseer can use it. He says, I have outlined a number of differences among the slaves, and I take these differences and make them bigger. I use fear, distrust, and envy for control purpose. Listen to that. He says, I use fear, distrust, and envy for control purposes. In other words, get one against the other. Now, watch how he does here. These methods have worked on my modest plantation in the West Indies, and it will work throughout the South. Take this simple little list of differences and think about them. On the top of my list is age, so to separate the old from the young. But it's there only because it starts with A. The second is color or shade. Now, how many times have we said that we look at light-skinned and dark-skinned people? There's a divide even with that. There was an old saying, is it, if you're white, you're right. If you're light, you're all right. If you're brown, stick around. If you're black, get back. That is something that has been taught to us. They did an experiment with a baby doll where they put a black baby doll and a white baby doll on the table, and they asked people, which one looks better? Which one is more safe, you're more comfortable with? Everybody pointed to the white baby doll. Even the black children. Do you understand this? What's been taught to us? It even goes down not even just to the color, but it also it talks about the size, the sex, the attitudes. Listen to this. He said the second is color or shade. There is intelligence, size, sex, sizes of plantations, status on plantations, attitude of owners, whether the slaves live in the valley, on the hill, east, west, north, south. Listen to this. Have fine hair, coarse hair, or is tall or short. Anything that we can do to divide them, even onto the texture or the color of your hair, how tall you are, short you are. Look, anywhere they can divide you. This is what's going on. Why do you think, and I'm sorry, black women, y'all, I love y'all, but y'all got to quit being so vain. I'm putting all that weave in your hair. I understand some of y'all need it, and please be modest with it, but be proud of your natural hair. Wear your hair natural sometimes. Let that thing blow out. Sometimes y'all don't need all that stuff in here trying to look like something that you're not. Be comfortable with the way God made you. God gave you natural hair. Go with it. I'm not hating on you. I love my black women. I really do. But sometimes we do too much. We try to look too much like them. Be you. Be yourself. Be comfortable with the way God made you. But see, this has been systematically taught to us, that we got to look like them to fit in. You do not have to look like them to fit in. Okay? You don't. Be what God made you. So listen to this. Now that you have a list of differences, I shall give you an outline of action, but before that, I shall assure you that this trust, stronger than trust and envy, stronger than adoration, respect, or admiration. The black slaves, after receiving this indoctrination, shall carry on and will become self-refueling and self-generating for hundreds of years, many, maybe thousands. Don't forget, you must pitch the old black male versus the young black male. I have never seen in my life, in my day and time, so many young, disrespectful black men who disrespect the older generation. There is no respect for the older generation, but this has been systematically taught to us. They have taught this to us to disrespect the elder. The Bible tells us to respect your elders. They've been here. They know the way. They've been through some things, and we need to respect that, but that there is a part of the division. And we got to go to break. I got a lot more for you. Please stay tuned to One Nation, where it's not just a show, but it's a movement.
Hi, I'm Chief Gary Sparks with the Douglasville Police Department. Today we want to give you some safety tips concerning traffic stops. Take a look.
So you look in your rear view mirror and see flashing blue lights. What do? Remain calm. Yield to the right and pull your vehicle over into an off-road area that is safe for both you and the officer. Put your car in park. Remove your foot from the brake and turn the radio off. Remain in your vehicle. Have your driver's license readily available for the officer. Keep your hands on the steering wheel, visible for the officer at all times. If you need to retrieve any items from the interior, explain what you're reaching for to the officer and avoid any sudden movements. Rolling the window down completely establishes a level of trust with the officer and allows for ease of interaction during the routine traffic stop. Be courteous and polite. Be cooperative and willing to follow the officer's instructions. During a routine traffic stop, the officer will return to his vehicle to run the tag and driver's license verification and complete a citation if one is necessary. Once the officer returns and approaches your vehicle, whether or not a citation or warning is issued, please remain calm, courteous, and cooperative. Sign the citation acknowledging you agree to appear in court, and do not dispute the citation with the officer. The officer will give you a court date to explain or defend your infraction.
Okay, ma'am. Like I told you, I did clock you at 51 in a 35 mile per hour speed zone. I did issue a citation, okay? This here is going to be your court date. I just need a signature from you stating that you received a copy of this citation, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Here's your driver license.
Thank you.
Along with a copy of the citation, okay? You have any questions or concerns for me?
No, sir.
Okay, well, you have a nice day, okay?
Thank you. You
Thank
too.
you.
Following these few simple steps will help ensure a safe interaction for both you and the officer.
I hope these few tips help you as it relates to dealing with law enforcement and traffic stops. Not only in traffic stops, but in all encounters with law enforcement. We hope that all our encounters are safe for the citizens as well as for our officers. Again, we want you to be safe, and if you have any problems with the Douglasville Police Department, don't hesitate to give us a call and make your concerns known. I would add that Georgia is a right to carry state, and we hope that if you are carrying, that on these traffic stops and all encounters, please let the officer know that you are carrying. This will ensure your safety and our officers' safety. Thank you, may God bless you, and may God keep our community safe. We are one.
Today's world exposes our youth to life experiences that are well beyond that which their years should allow. Violence, trauma, poverty, injustice. Our children's lives and their livelihoods are in constant danger. Wisdom Inc. is a community-based organization designed to save young lives by reducing violence and assisting youth in their personal development. Wisdom stands for wise individuals structuring and developing youthful minds. Through our collective wisdom, we can change lives for the better. Wisdom Inc., reducing violence, developing youth, saving lives. Today's world.
Welcome back to One Nation with me, your host, Christian Norfleet. I'm so excited that you have tuned in today. I'm glad to be on this platform with you, talking to you today about the Willie Lynch letters. Before we get back to that, I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors, Miss Stephanie T. Whitaker, for good success. She's bridging the gap to financial planning, connecting people to resources, #1 priority for time and money freedom. For group discussions, financial education, mentoring programs, professional coaching, leadership development, and business building workshops, we can live a legacy and leave a legacy. Live a legacy and leave a legacy. That is Stephanie T. Whitaker. You can contact her at 678-833-1657 or the phone number to the left of me on the screen, where you can contact her, www.startover.com. Stephanie T. Whitaker, shout out to you. Also, our new sponsor, Katrina Spencer, for Katrina Sticks, phlebotomy and laboratory services, where she veins to please. You can contact her at 404-734-2990, and her address is 1400 Veterans Memorial Highway, Southeast Suite 134, Mapleton, Georgia 30126. That's Katrina Sticks, phlebotomy and laboratory services. She veins to please. KatrinaSticks@yahoo.com. Also, you can contact her on Facebook and Instagram as well. Thank you. Now, and also real quickly, I want to thank you, Felix Washington, for giving me the platform where One Nation is partnered with Wisdom Inc. If you want to donate on the Wisdom Inc. Facebook page, there you can do that there, or you can also donate to Cash App. That's $WISDYM WISDYMINC, or you can also, WISDYM INC, that's Wise Individuals Structuring and Developing Youthful Minds. Wise Individuals Structuring and Developing Youthful Minds. All right, thank you so much. So, getting back to this, and we were discussing the old black male versus the young black male, and I was talking about the disrespect between the old black male and the young black male. And here's another thing. Now, I got on the black woman about that here. Now I get on us black men. It's a few things we got to do. We got to clean up. First things first is young black men, please pull up your pants. Do you understand the significance of you walking around with your pants halfway down? There's so many things go along with that. What it does is encourage and incites homosexuality. That's what it does. I understand it's the style, that is the fad, that is the fashion, but it is not correct. That is not what we do. That's not what we should do. It gives a bad taste. It looks bad. Please pull your pants up. Be respectful, young men. And stop encouraging. You say you want a good woman. You want a woman in your life, a wife in your life, if some of you are looking for a wife. Would encourage them to be natural. Don't chase after women that you know that's trying to look a certain way. If you feel it ain't real, then encourage them to be natural. Be them. Make them feel beautiful. You got to tell them that. You got to express that, okay? But first, you got to express yourself. You got to know what you want to know who you are. See, it's an identity crisis. We identify with everybody else. We identify with every other race but ourselves. We're constantly trying to search out. Some say, well, I'm Indian, or I'm Irish, or I'm a German, or I'm a half this, or I'm half that. And that's okay. That's what you have in your blood. But your first priority is your origin, is your race, where you're from. Everybody else walks and marches around the street, and they proud and they glad about it. But us as black people seem to be a little bit guilty when it comes to us. That's why I love James Brown when he said, say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. Now, the brother did have a little perm back in the day, but he switched it back to the natural once in a while. But he said it right when he says, I'm black and I'm proud, and you should be happy about it. There's nothing wrong with that. So let's get back to these Willie Lynch letters. It says here, now you must use the dark-skinned slaves versus the light-skinned slaves, and the light-skinned slaves versus the dark-skinned slaves. Okay? So we have a color barrier. We talked about that. We tend to look down on the dark skin. People who have lighter skin look down on the darker skin. But then the darker skin have a prejudice toward the lighter skin. Why is that? That should not be. We all come from the same seed. Okay? You understand that? So it says here also, now I've noticed this, there's a divide between us male and female. The male and the female. We seem like we have a hatred. But I'm going to tell you what happened here. It says you must use the female versus the male and the male versus the female. Now I'm going to show you how slavery put the female ahead of the male, and it's sort of like this now. Now I'm old school, and I might offend a few people, but I'm taking it back to I'm from biblical principle. The man is the head of the house. God is over the man. God leads the man, but God made man first. It is a shame when a woman has to lead a man. A woman should never have to lead a man. A man and a woman should work together. They are a partner. God made the female. Understand, God made the female for the male and the male for the female. So there should never be any type of division between male and female. God put that woman, Eve, in Adam's life to help him in the garden, to help him create, to create purpose, to create vision, to create children. He told them to be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth. Put new seed into the ground. Put new seed on this earth. Build a nation. Build a kingdom. Build people. But when you don't have a connection between men and women, when men and women are divided, especially black men and black women, when they are divided, we cannot procreate. That's why they're pushing the homosexual agenda. They want two men on the screen. When you watch television now, they want to see two men together. And especially black men. I see more and more they are promoting black homosexuality on the television. Yeah, I said it. They're promoting it in the movies. They're promoting it now even in the cartoons. They're putting it in your face. They're putting it in the books. They're putting it in the education system. They are trying to corrupt us, because if we are not creating with the women, if we are not getting married and having children and having family, then we are extincting ourselves. Do you understand that? So this is why they want division, hatred, and where the woman is, and women, I'm going to tell you this. It is not good for you to lord over your man. Your man might make mistakes, but understand the black man is the #1 target here in this country. It behooves you to support him any way you can. But black men, we got to get it together. As much as we want to support from the black woman, black man, you got to support your woman. You got to encourage your woman. You got to build her up as well. So where you going to get that support at? Where you going to get that energy at? Where you going to get that power at? Where you going to get that positivity at? You got to get on your knees and submit to your head. But if you're not submitted to your head, who is God, how are you going to lead a nation? How are you going to lead a people? You can't lead a people if you're not submitted yourself. You got to be submitted to the Most High God, Yahweh. He's teaching you how to build a nation. He's teaching you how to build a people. He's teaching you how to love yourself, black man. And he's teaching you how to love your wife and your children. You can't love anybody else until first you learn how to love God and then love yourself. He said this here. I got to go to the word real quick, because that's that preacher kicking in. I got to go to the Deuteronomy 6 real quick. Listen to this, black man. Because the only way that we're going to win freedom and deliverance from this forward, wicked, backwards country is that we got to learn first to get back to God. And we got to pray to God. And we got to be real about ourselves. Now listen, he said in Deuteronomy chapter 6, he said, "Hear, O Israel." First, you got to get rid of all these false doctrines and these false religions and these false teachings. Get rid of the false preachers and the false teachers and the false prophets. Get back to the origin. Get back to the real teaching. Get back to God. He said, "Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God." The Lord is one. There's only one God, one Lord, one faith, and one baptism. All these divisions in a religion, when we could have came together a long time ago and served one God, who is Jesus Christ. He said, "You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your strength." Love God, because that's where it starts at. Love is the power. God's not giving us the spirit of fear, but a power, love, and a sound mind. But if your mind is scattered, if your mind is divided, if your mind is consecrated on evil, how are you going to hear God? When you've been bombarded with the media, with television, with corruption, unrighteousness, wickedness, it's very hard to find God, especially in these last days and times, but you just got to push. You got to press toward the mark of the prize, which is the high calling in Christ Jesus. You got to push forward. If you want to hear God, if you need a word from God, I'm getting into preaching mode now, I feel it. You got to turn to God. But it says you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and mind. Now watch this. If you love God, He's going to teach you how to love yourself. And then when he teaches you how to love yourself, you'll be able to love your family. You'll be able to love your wife and cut down on the divorces and separation. The divorce rate is so high right now. We divorcing because we got hate in our heart. What happens in divorce? Divorce comes in as like a death. It's a separation. That's what they want. This is part of it. Y'all listen. He said, divide. You must use the female versus the male versus the female. You must also have white servants. Watch this. Now here we're going to get into this. He said, you must also have the white servants and overseers who distrust all blacks. I'm going to say that one more time. You must also have white servants and overseers who distrust all blacks. Who are the white overseers? Who are the white servants? It is the police officers policing the black people in the inner black communities. You have more people in the black communities with more police. This is more police. If there's more police, how is there more crime? More police equals more crime. I thought it was more police equals less crime. But the police officers are the ones I'm not saying all of them are in the community bringing corruption, but this is all part of the Willie Lynch syndrome. You must have also white servants and overseer who distrust all blacks. When a police officer walks upon a black man in his car or walking along, the first thing is he presumes him to be guilty instead of innocent. He already has his hand on his gun ready to kill him before questioning even comes into play. I thought we were supposed to get a fair trial, but a trial doesn't even happen. The judge and the jury and the trial happens all on the street. Another black man just yesterday, I heard, in Atlanta got shot in his back. It is a reality here. It's here. He says you must use white servants who distrust all blacks. Okay? But it is necessary that your slaves trust and depend on us. They must love and respect and trust only us. Now I'm going to say this about the Democratic Party. The Republicans, you already know, I ain't even got to talk about you. I'm saying this about y'all. Y'all want us to depend on y'all. We cannot depend on this government to liberate us. That's the problem. We, as black people, must first liberate ourselves. We must liberate our minds, our souls from this generation. This is the origin of this country. If the origin of this country is slavery and bondage, what makes you think that there's a plan set in place to liberate you and put you free? It's not in here. It's not going to be in there. It's not in the Constitution, even though they gave you Amendment 13, there's a loophole in Amendment 13 that still makes you a slave when you get arrested. So it's not changing. It's not going to change. So we as a people must liberate ourselves. That's why we must call on the name of God and understand that there's only one God and stop serving all these false idols and stop false worshiping and hear from God. If my people who are called by my name would humble themselves and pray and turn from their wicked ways, then I'll hear from them and I'll heal the land. God is waiting for his people to call out. But first we have to turn away. Stop depending on them. Stop waiting for them. Stop waiting for the handout. Oh, we're waiting for the government. I understand voting is important. Don't get me wrong. People have died for it. But we must put a demand on our freedom. We must make them respect us. The fastest way during the civil rights movement, the fastest way that got them to move on the civil rights, when we got our rights, was the boycott. We boycotted and we got rights. But we got to stop trying to integrate with people who hate us. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of time. Definitely not out of show. We're going to be back. I won't be on next week, but in the next 2 weeks, we're going to be back to finish these Willie Lynch letters. I got some more information for y'all. I'm so glad that you tuned in. Please donate to Wisdom Inc. on Facebook page. Also, once again, that's $WISDYMINC. Much love to you. Till next time, stay blessed. Much love.
TV 1061, conceptualizing your ideas across the world and beyond.